Well, hi everyone. Welcome to the New England Racing Show, Channel 23 in Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on YouTube, and like us on Facebook, you'll get the show automatically. And I'm your host, Bill Sturgis. Well, a little over a week ago, I was invited to go up to Bentley's Saloon up in Arundel, Maine, which is right outside of Kennebunkport on Route 1. And Bentley's Saloon is owned by Bentley Warren, who is a legend in super modified racing in New England and New York. Well, the whole Northeast, I guess. I would liken Bentley to the Richard Petty of the Northeast. And it was an honor to go up there. He had a book signing. There's a book out about Bentley's life, and it's called Wicked Fast. And it's available through coastal181.com, as a lot of racing books are. But it's told to Bones Boursier, who is the co-author here. And I've got the book. I went up and bought a book and had it signed. He signed it to my son, which was pretty cool, who also drives a super modified. So I been going through the book ever since, and it's just loaded with pictures and stories. It's not a book I'm going to sit and read from page 1 to the end. It's a book I'm just going to keep going through, and because I've been following super modified racing since the mid-'70s and have seen Bentley and all the other greats race at Star and Oswego. And this is really, I can really relate to this. So anyone that's an auto racing fan, I mean, you don't have to be a super modified fan, just any racing fan can relate to this. So we went up and we took a tour here of Bentley Saloon. I walked in and I said, oh, this is a nice little place. Little did I know. There's Bentley there sitting down. And there's just a line of people. It went on for hours. So here's the manager, Lisa. Took us on a tour of Bentley's.
Okay, this is our front bar that Bentley bought in 2004. This was the Bentley Saloon. It's a little local bar. Has expanded. I'm going to take you to the back to the saloon area. And all of these roll up in the summer when it's nice and hot out, and all the motorcycles, we watch them come and go. So everything rolls up. I wish we could roll them up now, but it's just cool. But that's where all the bikes come in at, and we call it the motorcycle viewing deck. So we go down here.
It was pretty cold out that day. It was only like 41 degrees, so there weren't many bikes.
And we have a live band playing now. We have live bands Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Oh, in the barn?
And we have the barn back here.
Okay.
And all of these doors open up when it's nice and sunny. They all swing up like garage doors, so we watch the motorcycles coming and going. Now it may be a little loud in here, so we're going to go in.
Now we walk into this place called the barn, and it's packed with people.
Good, how are you guys? Good. That's Mike. Smile, Mike, you're on camera.
That's a young Mike.
I'm sure some people were shocked that all of a sudden a TV camera comes in. We walk in, there's motorcycles hanging from the ceiling.
Show you the infamous hog.
Oh, what's this up here?
That one's an old Indian. How's the lobsters, guys? Good. Good.
That's a real old one. Probably from the 20s or 30s.
Good stuff. Yep.
Best deal out there.
Best deal in town, definitely.
Looks awesome.
Came for burgers and got lobster.
waving at you.
It was lobster day, so people were really pigging out.
Sign the book. This is the place to sign the book.
You can see everyone's having a good time.
See that bike? That is Adam Sajak's with White Knuckle Customs. He built that bike and won the bike show here 4 years ago. This is Dakota. Say hi. Hi. You want to get on the hog for us?
Well, they have this hog
What we do at Bentley Saloon at nighttime.
that the girls get up and
We get
ride.
up on the hog. We gotta go around this way. She doesn't have anything to throw out.
I usually throw stuff out.
They really abuse that hog, I'll tell you. I guess they figure pretend it's their ex-husband or boyfriend.
What is that? The nail down there? There you go.
For all you guys out there, we've all been the hog.
To ride the Bentley Saloon
No
hog.
fun.
And we have angels on Friday nights. They get up
Some
there
decorations.
and throw out free teas and beads and koozies to our guests.
I'm already big.
A lot in the cash. I think they're getting ready to start.
The band was taking a break.
You guys get ready to start? They're on.
There's an old Triumph, Bonneville 750 from probably 68.
I can show you outside.
I used to have a Bonneville
Did you? Yeah. They're all Bentley toys.
Pretty cool, the bikes that are hanging there.
Yeah. That's what a Bentley's old man had.
Looks like something from Easy Rider.
49. We just took it down. It was taken for actually.
Nice pan
I
head.
think you're right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. It's almost like a bicycle. I think you have to pedal it to start the engine. I've seen that once.
Hello, smile and wave for the camera.
Hope you don't have any warrants out on you. Here's the outdoor section.
Coming in with the camera, smile and wave.
The kitchen.
All the real views over there. Yeah. Hello, how y'all doing? So in the summer when it's nice and sunny and warm, this is filled up, this whole area. And we do our lobster feeds and they're out here in the cold. Smile and wave. Right. Oh, she's gonna lift a lobster for you. There you go.
Yeah, Lobster
Say
Fest.
lobster.
Can tell we're in Maine.
Yeah, it's starting a lot of trouble.
I wonder if they make good pets. I think my dog would like that. There's where they roast a pig.
Barbecue pig, biker style pig roaster. We do. I can't lift it; it's too heavy for me. But we do roast the pigs in here. Every Saturday we have a pig roast. And that tent over there is for our smokers. We call it the smoking tent. And there's a bar in there with TVs. And I'll take you back to our little gift shop. This is our outside stage when it's nice weather, holidays. We have bands out here for contests.
Home to McBride, your guest DJ on Sirius XM The Highway. I will play a song by...
As you can see, it's more than just a little saloon.
Reservations are made for the
This is like a sprawling complex.
And if I'd known there was a camera coming today, I would have fixed their mannequin.
Now we're going into, I believe, the
They
gift.
get beat up
They have a
because
gift
our guests,
shop.
take them to parties with them.
Lisa's taking us into the gift shop.
This is our little gift shop with Aaron and Miranda working. Of course. You're so polite.
They got all kinds of t-shirts, from Bentley Saloon t-shirts to racing, showing his racing career.
Hello. 2014, we're celebrating 10 years of fun. That's one of our anniversary t-shirts, huh?
Woo!
Woohoo!
Who has more fun than us?
We do! Yep. And if you want to... These are our tight quarters. We sell hundreds and hundreds of t-shirts out of this little place right here. Did you guys need some help finding a shirt?
I think we're good at the moment.
You're good?
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Miranda, I'm gonna
Can
run
we
out.
get our...
Next time I go up, I'm going to bring a lot of money
This is all the
so I can
women's-
buy a lot
no,
of stuff
all our
up
logo
there.
Shirts, our belts.
Nice
Yeah,
belts.
leather.
Okay, we're back in the front section. They have a lot of license plates hanging up there. And we were waiting for a break in the line so we could actually talk to Bentley and ask him a few questions. So we're looking at all the memorabilia on the walls. Bentley at Indianapolis there in that picture, in the Indy 500. He drove a few years in the Indy 500 when talent was still the deciding factor, whether you got a ride and not how much money you had. And right at the end of his Indy career, it started changing. There's the super modifieds at Oswego. Silver Crown car, which is a big sprint car. Another Indy car. The old Pine Speedway, which was before my time. I believe that's Bentley and his other. It's a California Super, I believe. They have different wings. Super, a wingless Super at Oswego. The Silver Crown car belonging to the Seymour brothers that Bentley drove a lot. Another Oswego car. He's driven for all kinds of people. Every picture had a different number car on it. I believe that's Ollie Silver, the old Zero. Bentley's modified.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
Another Isma car.
It looks like it's been pretty steady, too.
Dunnigan number 5, I believe it is. That there was at Syracuse when he raced his Super against the sprint cars back in the late 70s and wiped them all out. They said that was a Super, that the lousiest, most decrepit looking Super they've ever seen, and it came in and beat everybody. I got a kick out of that. There's a lot of the old timers, they, like me, they just wanted to talk to Bentley, and he's more than willing. I mean, his eyes light up when he talks to these people about the old days. And
Well, I read that in the paper. I said, well, now I understand the fact.
How you doing? All right. There's two here. One's for Sherry's dad, Ron. Ron.
His last name as well?
No, just put Ron. We give it to him for a birthday present.
and they had plenty of books on sale. I'm sure they sold hundreds of them.
Put this one to Ron.
Like I said, you can go online at Coastal
This one will be me.
181.com and purchase the book and take a ride up to Bentley's and he'll sign it for you. Bentley's in his 70s now and pretty much retired from driving. But he has motorcycles, or a motorcycle, I'm not sure which, and the bar is geared towards motorcycles. And
Record that in perpetuity, Lisa.
one of Bentley's old friends telling me a story about Bentley. He would ask you, "Are you my friend?" And you'd shake hands with him. He'd put your hand in a vice grip.
Oh my God, he's writing a book.
So he signed his book to my friend, and then he put "ouch."
Hey, Christina, how are you? See you.
But like I said, this is his headquarters up here, but he's still involved in racing. At the Moneybags race back in July at Lee, he sponsored the Hard Charger Award, and my son got that award with another guy. They co-hard chargers, and that was a great honor. They got their pictures taken with Bentley at Lee Speedway. So that award means a lot to me. In the book, it tells how a super modified driver, Mike Sperling at Lee, won his first race last year, and the next day he drove up to Bentley Saloon to have his picture taken with him. So that's how much we all revere this man. He's sort of like God. He may not think of himself that way, but that's what we think of him. So that's his friend Ron and his wife, I believe her name's Elaine. And that's Carl Fredrickson, the publisher, editor of Speedway Illustrated magazine. He races a Valente modified. He wanted his picture taken.
Bentley Warren, the super modified legend from 3 or 4 decades of racing. Bentley, tell us about your racing career and your book.
Well, the racing career started a long time ago, as you can see just by looking at me. And it's been a heck of a great ride. I've really enjoyed it. And the book that Bones wrote to me was awesome. He did a heck of a job just compiling my whole life of racing and my life in general. So he really did a good job. Like I told him, he made chicken soup out of chicken mess.
Okay. Who are your toughest competitors in the super modifieds?
There's just been so many. It's unbelievable. I mean, Russ Wood goes great. Chris Purley to me is the best of all of them. And there's just so many. I mean, just Davey Hamilton, and just I could go on and on. And if I said 100 names, it'd be 150 names. So I just,
Okay. Oh, and another question about, you raced at Indy in the Indy 500?
Yes.
You actually raced in the race?
I raced in 2 of the Indy 500s.
Tell us about that, what that was like.
When
was that?
When I went into Gasoline Alley in I think it was 70, after I had a very successful year in '69. I went to Indy and just to go through Gasoline Alley, even in the winter with no race cars there, and for them to open up those old garage doors and sitting in an Indy car, it was just like unbelievable. I'd heard about Indy 500 on the radio, I'd seen it on TV once in a while, and to walk through Gasoline Alley was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe I was there.
And how did you end up getting a ride?
Through my short track racing, and then Skip Matzik and Paul Young talked to a car owner that they knew from Indy, Tassie Vadas, and he came down to Connecticut, and I met him at Paul Young's house with Skip Matzik. And it just all sort of fell together somehow. I mean, it was back when you could do it just with your driving and.
Right, you didn't have to buy your way in.
Right. It was pretty awesome to be in that era.
Great. What do you think the future is of big block supers, the ISMA tour?
I hope the big block supers are here forever. I mean, it's a great show to watch, and it's been part of my history. And I had a lot of success, and a lot of other guys have. And I just hope it continues. Howie Lane's running; he's doing a good job, and he's got a lot of race followers that are racing with him, and a lot of people, a lot of spectators. They love that show. It's a very fast, furious race, and they seem to enjoy it.
Well, it seems everywhere they go, they pack the places.
Yeah, they put on a heck of a show. I mean, it's a lot of speed, a lot of skill, and a lot of good race cars.
Well, now that they're not racing around here that much in New England, Red McDonald at Lee has a small block supers. What do you see as a future for the small block supers?
Well, I think it's fantastic. I mean, it gives the guys a great starting place to start in supers to get the feel. And if you hadn't seen the supers and you went down to see the limited supers or small block supers, you'd think you were watching a super modified race, except for different names. And the cars are just so close to being as fast. And the drivers are all doing a great job. It's just really fun to watch. Yep. And then I like what Russ Conway did with Red to put that big bucks money bags race together. It was an awesome race to watch, and the format was good too.
Yeah, it sure was. And as far as the future of auto racing in general around here, what do you think can be done?
It's a hard thing to do because now with NASCAR doing more night races, it's hurt the local tracks, and people can go home and watch on television a night race, so that's taken away from the short local tracks where they saw some, I think, even better racing than they see on the NASCAR 500 lap races that, you watch the first 3 laps to see what happens, and then you fall asleep or go out and cut your grass and then come back in and watch the last 5 laps.
Watch the green-white checkers because of debris on the track.
Yeah.
Okay, and we just took a tour. Lisa took us on a tour of your saloon, and the whole thing is just fantastic. How did you get involved in this?
I don't know, it must have been some sort of a pipe dream I had when I was riding my motorcycle down the bar rooms or something, but it just fell together pretty well with a lot of good help.
And tell us about when you went down, I believe it was Syracuse, with your super modified back in the late 70s, and you beat all the sprint cars on dirt.
Yeah, it was quite a feat. We had a benefit because we had a wedge-shaped body on our car because we were racing at Oswego with no wing, and the wedge shape worked well there. And when the sprint cars came, they just had the round sprint nose and round sprint tail, and they took their wings off because of the mile track, so it gave us a benefit. But we were good, we were fast, and it was a fun race.
Didn't they change the rules after that to make sure that you couldn't win?
I don't think they were trying to make sure we couldn't win, but they wanted to make their group, the Outlaws, more competitive. I mean, they didn't, and it's still great racing.
Right. What were your most memorable wins in super modified that stand out to you?
I think the first Oswego Classic in 1969 with Howard Purdy race car was just, I was just like, oh my God, am I here? It was really something.
And what was your last win? Was that the one in '99, was it? When you drove the backup car and you won the Classic in Oswego?
With Jeff West, and I think the other one would have been Vic Miller with Chris Curley when we won that ISMA show. And I can't even remember when it was, but not that long ago. And it was a fun race.
Because I took my kids to Oswego when you won that with Jeff West's backup car.
Okay, yeah.
And that was a real popular win. You rode around in the car, passenger car afterwards, and everybody just stood and cheered.
And I drank a lot of Budweiser too after that.
Well, good.
And there's another thing is Oxford Plains has a big race coming up for the ISMA Supers, and that should be a heck of a show. And I'm going to at least run a little match race with Chris, and hopefully we do something at Beach Ridge a few weeks before that so that people can get accustomed to what the Super is going to look like at Oxford. So.
Oh, great. And maybe we can get you in the Nemo Light car?
It'd be fun.
They're going to be up at Oxford too, 250 weekend.
Are they? So they are. That'd be neat. Yeah.
We got Chris Purley in one of the cars, so we'll get you in a car too, okay?
That'd be fun.
All right, well, thanks, Bentley.
Thanks, and I hope everybody enjoys the racing this summer.
Here with Ron Marcarell.
This is a car they
And
had outside.
He's going to tell us about this car
This is Bentley's
outside
friend
of
that
Bentley's
we're
Saloon,
telling you about.
the Dynamite Special 707. Okay, Ron.
Well, what we're looking at is a recreation of the type of car that Bentley drove when I met him when I was 13 years old. I've never been much of a stick and ball athlete, but my folks wanted me to play the Little League, and every Saturday I'd be playing, standing out in left field, and I could hear this racing loud engine off in the distance. So one day after the game, I jumped on my bicycle and I rode, and I found out where that noise was coming from. And there was a bunch of guys working on a car just like this, getting ready to go to the races. And that was the last Little League game I ever played. I gave up that and became a gopher for Bentley. And the gopher was the kid that would go for getting a wrench or washing parts or what have you. So a couple of years ago, well, more than that, probably 5 years ago, they started something up to New Hampshire International Speedway that they call a vintage celebration, where you could take an old race car, go up to New Hampshire, and go just as fast as you want to go on a 1 mile speedway. And when I saw that, I said, this looks like a lot of fun. I definitely want to do this before someone gets killed and they stop us from doing it. So I happened to know where this car was. I grabbed it, recreated the car just the way it was when Bentley drove, using state sign post that we used to steal from the highway to make bumpers and roll bars. And put one together to go have some fun. Had a lot of fun with it. I've raced it down in Florida on the dirt. And it just so happens that, things got popular with vintage racing, and we Bentley got this bar, and here it is on display.
Now, isn't there a series that's called Wicked Wicked
I think the very
Racing
end of
or something that
in
they
Maine.
actually...
There's several different clubs. Wicked
Looked like
Racing,
there
I
was still a
think
little
they
bit of
call
time
it.
left
That's
if
one
you
of the
want to go
main
up to the front
clubs.
bar.
And they actually race,
They
right?
They do.
don't
They
just
race
parade
for
around.
real.
Monday
Yeah.
night
Yeah.
will be Country
And
Line
then
Dancing
there's
Night with
other
the only for
clubs
$5.
near New England Antique
I
Auto
believe I
Races
have
and
confirmed
Senior Tour
also
Auto
Margarita
Races.
Monday.
Yep.
There's a lot of groups around. And they go from track to track,
He's just
different
happy
tracks
because
every
Bentley
week.
signed something for him and it
And,
wasn't
it's a lot of fun.
You plan on taking this to any... you're going to go to New Hampshire Speedway?
No, probably not anymore. The whole car needs to be freshened, but mostly now I just do shows with it, and whenever
It went away. I
Bentley
don't know what you did.
asks, I bring it up to the saloon and,
Wiggle it.
help him promote his book.
Did this car ever race a car like this at Manchester Motordrome?
Geez, I don't know, that would have been before my time, but I find it hard to believe it didn't. Bentley drove cars like this at West Peabody, Westboro, Pine Speedway, Hudson Speedway.
I hear the
Those are the
train
ones
a
I'm
coming.
sure of.
It's
I'd
rolling
have to fact
around
check
the
his
and
book.
I ain't seen the sunshine.
If I didn't mention his
since
book,
I don't
Wicked
know
Flash.
when. I'm sucking
available.
Sure did.
for
That's why we're here.
Postal
Time
181.
keeps dragging
Okay.
on.
And
Well, it's
you'll
a
see plenty of pictures of the real car
But that
Postal
train keeps
181
moving
in the book.
on down the side.
It's a nice looking car. And those were the good old days.
They were the good old days. Bentley won a lot of races
Always
in cars like this, and they went through a lot of them. It wasn't unusual to probably use up 3 or 4, maybe even 5 cars in a season. There was a lot of crashing and banging.
Great. Well, thanks, Ron, for showing us the car.
Well, that was a great tour. And we'll have a special presentation for you the next 2 weeks. So be sure to join us then. And thanks a lot. See you next week.